Well, hello to all the brother and sister-in-laws out there, and of course,
you can't forget about the baby mamas holding it down.
producing that liquid courage upstairs. Before we dive into today's shenanigans with the Mac Attack, aka Herf Life, the Mac Hereford, today's episode is brought to you by RĒVO Sunglasses.
Nice.
The go-to brand for premium eyewear, seamlessly blending style and performance. Whether you're hitting the slopes, exploring the trails, or just soaking up the sun, RĒVO has got you covered with their cutting-edge polarized NASA lens technology that offers unparalleled clarity and protection. As we enter the new year, explore their winter collection featuring cutting-edge goggles for your upcoming ski or snowboarding adventures. If you find yourself spending most hours at the computer throughout the week, can't forget about their cutting-edge RĒVO clear lens technology readers that filters the most harmful rays of blue lights from digital screens to reduce eye strain. Visit www.rhyvo.com or click the link in the episode description to discover exclusive deals on their winter collection. That's www.revo.com, and don't forget to use our promo code MANTOMAN20 at the checkout for 20% off. That's MANTOMAN20 for 20% off at the checkout. Trust us, your eyes will thank you later.
My eyes thank me right now.
UFC superstar Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, dude. What's going on, baby?
What's up, everybody?
Alrighty, what up, everybody? Welcome into Man to Man Podcast. Today we're switching things up and talking man to woman. Please welcome on the show singer, songwriter, social media star Lauren Gray. We know you like the DJs.
I am okay.
$1.99 for a banana bag, bro.
All right, Mac Attack, Herf Life. Wow, who would have thought, dude? Welcome to the studio, baby. How we feeling?
Feeling great, man.
You said you didn't get any sleep last night, though, right?
I didn't sleep very well, but you know, it is what it is. I said good.
You're sleeping? Are you sleeping
I'm
good?
sleeping very well every night, my guy. And,
What's the trick?
go to bed early. That's my trick.
Welcome to the studio. What's going on with the sleeping problem? Let's just start there. Mac Attack, Herf Life, Mac Hereford in the building. What's going on with the sleeping problems, dude? Because I can't sleep either.
Man, I don't know. Anxiety, stress.
What you anxious about, dude?
Just different things, man.
Tell
Different
us
things,
what.
but
Give us one thing. Is it like the New Year thing, like New Year's resolutions? We talked about a little bit. Everyone's putting a lot of pressure on themselves, or you just got a bunch of things that in your mind right now in the next couple of weeks.
Just a bunch of things in my mind. I'm not necessarily a huge New Year's resolution guy. Same thing as like when it comes to like whether it's drinking, whether it's like whatever. I'm not a guy who's like I gotta stop doing this or start. You know what I'm saying? I have a pretty good consistent routine. Working out, you know, I don't really drink that much. Go out occasionally, but my sleep may improve. I'm gonna give a little shout out. I'm actually wearing the hat right now from this guy.
Shout him out, dude.
I met recently Todd Anderson. He has a company called Dream Recovery.
Nice.
And I'm going to try out something new. It's called sleep tape. You put it over your mouth.
Have you seen that? I've seen it.
I've
yeah.
seen that, and
I don't know if I could do that though, bro.
because I like to be able to breathe sometimes.
Yeah,
And
but
I-
you can
Yeah,
breathe
you
through
are
your
breathing,
nose.
dude. You aren't sleeping.
yeah,
without
but I feel
breathing.
like when I wake up sometimes and I'm like heavy breathing sometimes, like trying to catch your breath right when you wake up sometimes. I feel like that would just
You got heart problems?
we can go straight to heart problems.
I got heart problems, bro.
no,
So
I feel like that would be hard, but yeah, I mean,
So
if
have
it
you
works,
tried it
it
yet or
works.
no?
I was going to try it last night, but I was like just rolling and moving, and
Yeah.
it just felt a little bit different, but I'm definitely going to try it. I don't know the science, but look, they're telling me it helps you sleep. I've heard about it helping you sleep.
Yeah.
Todd knows what he's talking about, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this thing called sleep tape out, slap that bad boy on, and
Yeah.
you know, hopefully it'll help me sleep a little bit better.
That's during the holidays, right before Christmas. My mom took me to shout out to the Madre. Took me to what's it called, At Home or whatever, and we were looking at sheets, and she was like, "Get the 1200 thread count." Has anybody heard of this?
I've never heard of this. I have no idea what
The
you're
higher
talking about.
thread count that you have as a sheet, I guess it's the more comforting it is, dude. And Okay, yes, homo, I guess. You hopped in the bed when I wasn't in it, but you said it was nice.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference when you got good sheets on there.
You got the firm pillows, though, right? That
Yeah,
helps.
I like-
You got firm pillows?
I've got like one pillow. It's like a gel pillow, and then I have just regular pillows, little cushy ones. Like I use a lot of pillows. I'm like covered by pillows every night. You know.
Can't do them, dude. I got 2 king pillows in here on a full-size bed, and that's all I got, and it works pretty well. I'm not sleeping well, but this week I did start to take melatonin. I'm popping them like candy, bro, and like I've heard like melatonin is like not good for you, but I need to get athletic in my dreams. But when I do dream, I'm thinking of some dark arts, bro, for sure. Like I need to wake up.
You just have dark thoughts on your dreams
I got
anyway.
super dark thoughts.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have a lot of dreams still? I don't.
Yeah.
rarely dream anymore.
I was gonna say I couldn't tell you last time I remembered a dream, like start to finish. It happens.
That's just
Matt
not
just
like
said he doesn't dream.
That is
I'm
like not a creative person to me. You got to be creative when you're awake to have these dark arts.
I'm thinking while I'm awake, not when
Yeah,
I sleep.
Mine aren't usually dark. If I do have them, they're pretty good dreams.
You like dark,
Yeah.
dude?
No,
You
no,
like
no,
horror movies and
I
stuff?
don't like dark. But if you're having dark dreams and they're freaking you out, my dad always used to tell me this thing, and it actually worked. I don't remember the last time I've had a legit nightmare. But he would always tell me, he would be like when I was younger, there's a vivid dream I could remember at my house. Like I can still remember this one dream to this day, where I'd be, my room had a little window, and then there's our driveway up the street. And I would have this weird, I got a skeleton set, I think. Like, like one of those things you build a skeleton. I don't know if I got one or if I just thought about it, but it's Halloween. Happened around Halloween time all the time. But we had the ice cream truck come by our house, when I was growing up. And this dream was the weirdest dream ever. It's an ice cream truck, and you hear like the na-na-na-na-na-na. And I like look out the window, and it feels like it's in the crazy thing. The dreams that are crazy are the ones that like say where you're asleep in this room, that you're dreaming about being in this room. And so I was in my room, and I would dream of hearing the ice cream truck come up middle of the night, and I would look, and there'd be like a skeleton guy. You know the movie Halloween, how they have the skeleton bus driver?
Yeah.
Exactly like that. I would see the skeleton guy, and I'd be like, holy crap, I got to get out of here. And then he would like get closer and closer, and then I'd wake up. And then I had some other dreams that were pretty bad. And all in all to say, my dad used to tell me, he's like, Mac, if you're having bad dreams, the thing you got to do is you got to fight in your dreams. You got to fight. And so I'd always be running, and I'd feel like I'm slow. You feel like you're molasses in your dreams, like you're glued to the ground. You can't run as fast, whatever. I had dreams being under a table and a ghost is attacking the town, and I'm supposed to be the hero. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And it was good for me because I was trying to be the hero and the dream. And if I could do that, then in real life I could conquer some stuff. But I did what my dad said. I remember a villain in my dreams, like in my nightmares, and I just fought. I just turned around. I faced the nightmare face on, and then I didn't really have nightmares ever again.
That sounds like this is Sparta shit, dude. That was like me. I don't know if I'm necessarily the hero in my dreams because I even woke up and had like a bunch of scratches on my back, dude. You saw that a couple weeks ago, and it's definitely like not the cat scratching my back at night, dude. I think I'm actually getting touched at night, dude. So I don't know, it might be TMI, but like it might be the skeleton, bro, that's touching me, dude. Well, welcome into the studio. I guess just for more context, dude, and I guess hopefully you get more sleep. Let me know how it is, get the firm pillows and everything else.
Thanks.
Welcome into the studio for a little bit of context. Mac and I met each other, I believe, in 2021. We worked together at a digital marketing agency here in Nashville called Get Engaged. You were kind of you were just like an independent contractor for them, right?
So I was like a part-time, so I knew Cam, obviously, Cam, good buddy. And they were just getting started in Nashville, and it'd be a fun opportunity. And, he wanted me to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of it as well. And he let me have the opportunity to kind of work with Get Engaged. And so it was like it was almost like a contractor thing, but it was part-time. So a certain amount of times a month when needed, I would have to go out and help out with different shoots, different things, activations that Get Engaged was doing. And it's a great experience, a lot of fun, good time, especially because of meeting you. It was nice.
Yeah, that was nice, man. I was glad to shake your hand for sure. That was interesting. That was an interesting field for me too, because that was the first time that I actually was doing, I guess, like, I don't know, brainstorming like marketing and actually controlling like other social media brands. So it was all just kind of new to me. And then going into shoots and getting free tzatziki's, dude. They just hooked me up with like a $250 gift card. I was like, hey, you guys need some content? Like, I walked in with a pumpkin on my head. They're like, dude, this guy's got to get out, dude. But I was there for, about a year. And then I think you left a little bit before me, and kind of you are doing your thing now. So, I mean, we like to timeline it up on our podcast. So I know you probably talked about your story and, big Alabama guy and social media influencer, but just quickly, like, what was life growing up for you, and then kind of lead us into like how you got a ton of followers. Is it from Alabama? Is it from just meeting people in Alabama and branching out? I'm gonna just give you the floor and you kind of just rip it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, life growing up was unbelievable. I think like one of my biggest goals or dreams or aspirations is to create and have a family that was similar to the lifestyle that I grew up in. You know, have great parents, great mentors to me. You know, my heroes, and then have a lot of siblings. You know, I'm one of, we have now, it's 6 of us. So we have like a kind of adopted brother, long story there, but I call him kind of adopted. I mean, I call him my brother. I call him my brother. He's not officially adopted, but he's family. He's my brother. It's 5 boys, 1 girl, and then my parents. But growing up, it was just, it was 5 kids, and my sister's the oldest. Grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. Always a Tide fan. Loved the Tide. Ended up going to boarding school in high school by choice, not like a bad boarding school. And they're continuing to follow the dream of playing for the Crimson Tide. And, you know, just loved boarding school, loved getting to meet like as many different people from all over the world and connecting with different people, building relationships, to where then I went to Alabama. And again, long story short there, I always loved Alabama. You know, I went to the camps. I went to Coach Saban's first camp he ever had in 2007. And I just, you know, loved my time there, wanted to show my experience, because if there's something you've worked your whole entire life for, you know, it's like the pinnacle, the thing, the top of the mountain for you, per se. That was the top of the mountain for me. When I was younger, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? When I was like really young, I was like Alabama football player. It wasn't the NFL. It wasn't like, you know, firefighter, rapper, whatever it was. It was Alabama football player. So I got there, and people sometimes give me heck about it. Like, dude, you talk about it way too much. It's like, man, if you had a dream that you chased for year after year after year after year after year after year, and you put in all this hard work and time and effort and energy into, you're going to be proud of it too. And it was an unbelievable experience. It was surreal when I was there. So I went to Alabama, and that definitely helped give me a platform, you know, with social media, and just great relationships that I'm so thankful for and grateful for. So whereas moved to Nashville, got my master's at Vanderbilt in marketing, a 1-year accelerated program. At the Owen School, Owen Graduate School at Vandy, which is a great school. And then stayed in Nashville, worked a little bit with Get Engaged, still do some stuff with them here and there. Cam's a buddy of mine.
I saw you at Taziki's not too long ago.
Yeah, I was at a little Taziki's action with Colin, one of our buddies. But yeah, so now it's just, I like to do independent contractor type work, or, you know, get a retainer with a company, work for them for a little period of time on one side. So I have the business bucket and then the social media content creation bucket. Not your like typical, you know, people say like influencer, content creator, whatever. Definitely not your typical one of those. It's not really like, when people approach me, I almost like people not knowing exactly what I do. It's like a little bit of mystery to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I'm here now on this podcast ripping it with you guys. So
I fucking love it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It's just interesting, too, because it kind of sounds like, I mean, Liam and I are from Nashville. We went to all the Lipscomb basketball camps. We went to all the Vanderbilt basketball camps. Watching Tennessee game, only school I could get into. Can't get into Vandy, dude, you know, but that would have been a dream for me. I think a lot of people don't realize that you did go to Vanderbilt after you went for more schooling after Alabama. What was life growing up next to like having a ton of siblings, and then why the move to a boarding school? What was the thought process like that right there? Yeah,
I mean, growing up with a ton of siblings, look, I want to have a lot of kids. You know, I want to have a big family when I am at the age of being a parent. That's one of the things I really want, and the reason is because I absolutely loved my childhood. You know, I loved the way of getting to go out in the backyard. I wanted to throw the football. I didn't have to go invite a friend over to throw the football. I've got 3 other brothers that I can go ask to come throw the football, you know. Playing basketball, we could play 2v2. It was tussling, wrestling. Like, you know, I'm the youngest, so it was always fun. We got twins, so I'm the youngest. We got twins, and then my brother, and then my sister at the time when I was younger. And it was just incredible. It's a ton of fun to have that environment, you know, surrounded by the boys. You're constantly with the boys.
And is your sister kind of in sports, or is she kind of feeling a little left out doing her own thing?
My sister is was kind of a girl's girl, but she is an athlete, which is like funny enough. You know, she ran college track or college cross country, and so she's an athlete, but was always kind of a girl's girl, and kind of like, you know, it was the boys, and she's the oldest. You know, like she's but it was always fun because she, you know, it was incredible, and it was good dynamic in the family to obviously have an older sister. And we were all very close.
And then you all go to boarding school together, or was it
So
just...
my oldest brother, when I was younger, I'll go back to the time that I was in like first or second or no, maybe it was like fifth grade. I can't remember what grade it was. I was in elementary school at the time. My oldest brother, who was a huge mama's boy growing up, randomly decides, I don't know where it came from, that he wanted to go to a boarding school. I guess to say I don't know where it came from, a little bit, I guess so we all played competitive tennis growing up. He was the best out of all the boys.
That's where the pickleball comes into play.
Yeah, he was a filthy tennis player, and he would go to these camps in summer or whatever, and he was getting like, I guess a boarding school reached out to him and was like, we want you to come play here. And he looked at some of the options, talked to some of the coaches, ended up wanting to go to this school called Woodbury Forest, and so he ended up going and playing tennis there and leaving. And it was like, holy cow, like I remember crying that day, like my brother, because there's me and then there's the twins and then there's my older brother, Billy. And so he would always call me Padawan, he was the Jedi Master. I was his Padawan. Yeah. And so I called him when I was growing up, I called him Bibi because I couldn't say Billy when I was really, really little. So his nickname was Bibi. And I would just, like the twins would be gaining up on me, we'd be wrestling. And I would call, I'd be like, Bibi. Like, Billy, please, help. They would be like bringing me down to the ground. I'd be like trying to take them. And then he would come in there and rescue me every single time. We grew up.
He was the hero in real life, huh?
Yep, he was the hero. And we grew up. So when he left, it was really crazy for me. It was hard because we were so close. When in the first house I lived in, so I shared a room with my brother Billy. And then the twins shared a room. But Billy and I shared a room, and we always, when we were younger, listened to Pokemon, the song. Every single night, we had the little CD player, plug in the CD. I think it was the only goddamn song we had on that CD player. We played every night before we go to bed. We were in bunk beds, and it'd be like, Pokemon, you gotta catch them all. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up going to boarding school and ended up just absolutely loving it, having a great time. And then another brother, the twins, got an opportunity to go to boarding school. Both of them were very, very smart. They're geniuses, but also great athletes. And what's crazy enough, my mom made them, they did everything together. So the twins were like this, and so they would go to birthday parties together. They would host birthday parties together. They were always one. They're not identical, but they're just always together. When someone invited one of them, they invited both of them. Right. And it was crazy. My mom, when they were making the decision, thought that it would be best, which I applaud her for, because it's got to be hard. You're a mother and you're looking at these, the twins that are super close, but made them decide on their own. She took them into different rooms and said, y'all got to decide without each other. One of them decided to stay and one of them decided to go. Damn. So wild stuff. But one of them ended up going, and then it was time where, it didn't really ever feel like I would ever entertain that. I loved home, loved being around my family, loved just Birmingham, loved Mountain Brook, the area that we were in, and just absolutely loved everything that was going on. But it came time where there was a point where I could decide whether I wanted to go. I had an opportunity and got into the school, went up there to see my brother throughout the year, then brothers. And the option came, the first deadline comes around, no answer from me. I don't make a decision. And then the late deadline comes around. And I remember I was in 9th grade at the time, and I had to really decide. I was like, do I really want to do this? Things were awesome at home, and I was blessed and privileged to be able to live the way I was getting to live. But I wrote down on a piece of paper, prayed about it. It was like pros and cons is what someone told me to do. And just the pros of going, and it was more of a challenge, and it was something different. And I always loved to challenge myself. And do something different. And I remember walking downstairs on the day of the late deadline and having I just woke up out of bed, just walked downstairs, and I said, I'm going to be a tiger, which was their mascot. Nice. And I was like, holy crap, I just said that I'm going to, and I was like, I got to go.
Now, what is this school like? Is it like an MBA in Nashville, if you had to compare it, or like a Macaulay?
It's very similar to Macaulay. Yeah. It's an all boys boarding school in Virginia. A lot of great sports programs. A lot of guys are going to play Division I sports. It's like college, but in high school. Right. More opportunities, I would say. And then you're getting to meet people from all over the world. Some of my best friends in high school from South Africa, from China, from Korea, like wherever it may be. It's people from all over the world who've made it here. And that's the cool thing about it. It's like, wow. And the thing I liked about it too was, at regular public school where I was at originally, everyone, it's always like, who's getting the most girls, who's doing this, who's like, there's the cool group, there's this group. At Woodbury, there was niches, but the kind of hierarchy was based on like a lot of people wanted to be the smartest guy in school. You wanted to have like academic accolades. You wanted to be the top athlete. Like when you take girls out of the picture, and we saw girls, you know, we had mixers and stuff, and like you can go home, you can go out of town on the weekends, whatever.
You guys had like the all girls school that you used to hang out with, or no?
There was a couple of them that were like our sister schools. But all that to say, it was pretty nice because of the fact that you're in a classroom and you're not thinking about like, oh, you're not looking around, you know, at different girls and stuff. It limits the distraction. And especially for me, it was like, dang, this is a great way. If I really want to play college ball, you know, being in an environment like this is the perfect environment for me to be in. So that explains like a little bit about it. Yeah, I would say it's similar to Macaulay. Great coaches. The coaches are all teachers for the most part, which is really cool because you're getting to be in the classroom with these guys, and then they're coaching you on the field. So you're building real relationships with these teachers. They're investing real time into you and want to be a part of your life. And there's just a really awesome community to be a part of.
What about the transition then from coming from that kind of environment, then going to like an Alabama that is known for kind of more of like, they're known for sports and stuff, but also just what does that transition look like? Like that's got to be a little bit of a shock, a little bit after being in an environment.
I would say the biggest shock to me was going to boarding school originally. Like that changed from public school to boarding school. Being around my parents, waking up in the morning in my house, you know, I'm waking up in a bunk bed now, in a twin bed, and I'm getting up in the morning, early in the morning, and we have this structure, this schedule. It's like college. I remember the first time I was in my bed at boarding school, we did orientation, and I remember my parents left, and that night I looked up, I was on the top bunk freshman year with a guy named Alex Schmidt-Fellner was below me, and I looked up at the top of the ceiling, and there was no air conditioning in the building. We had fans, and you know, some stink bugs flying around in the room and stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, like what have I got myself into?
That's what kind of prepared you. And then another quick side question, are you going to school there for football?
It wasn't necessarily for football. I'd say one of the primary things was it was going to give me an opportunity to play at the Division I level or college level. It was going to do that better just because that was the focus, is most people who took athletics there very seriously. The coaches, you know, were trying to get these guys recruited. Like back at home from the high school I went to, you know, we'd have a couple of guys go, like maybe two guys go to D1 FCS schools. Maybe we had like a D1 superstar. But at Woodbury, it was like, I think I graduated with 16 guys who went Division I, you know, in football. I think there were like we had guys in track going Division I because they can sort of recruit, and so we had all these athletes from all over. And again, you have access to a gym at all times. I mean, we're talking the weekends. I can walk to the gym and go work out. I can walk to the football field in the morning and go run routes. And so to your question, Liam, the transition from there to Alabama, it gave me a huge advantage. You know, because these guys who were coming in, I came in early with the class of 2016, or the Bama class of 2020, but the year of 2016 season guys, all the new recruits, everything, all the new signees, we all got there in the summer, or most of us got there in the summer. All these guys are coming, this is their first time being away from home. This is their first time, you know, having to live without their parents. They're traveling from all over. For me, I'm back in Tuscaloosa where I grew up going to games, and also I'm used to this. So my confidence and comfortability being away from my parents just automatically it takes away a huge part of that freshman year summer where a lot of people are having to deal with like homesickness. A lot of people are having to deal with being on their own. I feel just at home, you know, because I went to a boarding school for 4 years where I didn't see my parents as much, where I had to do my own thing. So the transition from that to Alabama was really a pretty smooth transition. I would say the biggest thing was just the level of intensity in the football locker room of the guys. Like in the classroom was almost easier because of the way the boarding school prepped me. Yeah. But like on the football side of things, yeah, I mean, I was around talented guys in high school, but this was like every single guy is like a 5-star, you know? Right. So that was the biggest difference in just the level of training, the equipment that was available, the, you know, attention to detail in every single little aspect. That was the biggest transition, I would say. But otherwise, besides that, it really made the high school to college transition really smooth.
And then football side of being at Alabama, was that, obviously, that was kind of your dream, but is there something about knowing what Alabama was to maybe the outside looking in, that's kind of the program you want to go to, like the top prestigious school. Was there anything that you noticed right off the bat stepping into that kind of environment that was like, now this is actually like an NFL factory or something like that was like really just like maybe not what you were expecting almost, but also like this is what's expected of me?
Yeah, I would say going back to freshman year summer, we come in, I'm surrounded by these guys again. I was a preferred walk-on. Wasn't like a high school star or anything. Like played on my high school team, but wasn't like a stud, Got there and surrounded by these guys. And I was pretty big for like a wide receiver, undersized for a tight end, but we're in the summer workouts and it doesn't matter who these guys are. They could be the number one recruit in my class. They could be the 5-star number one player in the whole entire freaking country, but I'm seeing them get it pushed just as hard as I am. I'm seeing them put to the same standard of excellence as every single player who's been there for 4 years. That was the biggest thing. And I remember specifically, we're running stadiums that freshman year summer, and we're going up, it was on Fridays we did stadiums in the summer for conditioning. And you had to run a certain amount of stadiums and whatever. It's after we already did some other conditioning. Everyone's hot, sweaty, it's you're tired, it's early in the morning. And we're going up and we're running the stadiums. And one guy who was a pretty superstar player in the class that I was in, new guy coming in, hurts his hamstring. And I see him like holding his hamstring. He's like, damn. He's like, my hamstring. And I remember looking at him like, dang, like hopefully someone's going to get this guy out. And one of the coaches looks at him, one of the strength guys, and is like, keep going. Keep moving. Keep going. And I'm like, what the hell? This guy's like hobbling up the stairs. He just keeps hobbling and hobbling and hobbling. And I'm like, okay, this is different level. This is another level. This is another place. This is the real deal. This is a factory. It's next man up. They take really good care of us. They have the best training and equipment staff. But it was the fact that like they broke you down to a level that you couldn't really comprehend, and then they build you back up. If you go through that in summer conditioning, Lord knows you're going to be prepared in a game.
I was going to say, well, you also got to think like, what else is going to happen during the season? Like, this is kind of shitty to starting off with, but the rest of the season is going to probably be easier for that.
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, now I get it.
What was your first game like?
First game that I played in, or just first game going
into and suiting up?
The first game I suited up freshman year was pretty. I mean, I tell this, it's hard to comprehend or even talk about. It's so surreal. So I remember going and seeing my jersey in the locker room and being like, wow, like there it is, like it's one thing. So it was a walk on, you don't dress out all the time. And so it took a couple of games, I believe, until I dressed out, but I dressed out for this game. And I just remember seeing my jersey and other guys who were older walk-ons coming up to me and saying, man, like, congrats. Like, how does it feel? They wanted to relive their moment again through me vicariously. And I was in awe. My eyes were wide, getting to run out there. We get to do the warm-ups and stuff. That was like the game for me. I didn't miss a catch.
I never got to play a lot in like high school basketball, but those warm-ups I put on for my city. I'm like, I'm going to fucking make this layup, dude.
That's what I'm
going to touch
saying,
the backboard
bro.
on this layup.
People don't get it. The warm-ups were lit. I was out there. I was locked in. I'm not going to drop a pass.
Yeah.
The ball may be a little bit high. Ball may be like too far out of reach. I'm going to get a little bit more speed.
But everyone's got the same energy, and you got to just be a part of that. Otherwise, you're just going to be left out.
Exactly.
Like you're not supposed to be there if you're not.
I warmed up in those games like I was gonna play. Yeah. I was like doing my head. I was like, bobbing to the music. I was in the zone. I was there. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to do this thing. And catching all the balls and warm ups. Like, yeah, like good catch, bro. Like, all right, like we working, like doing little drills and like catch. You know what I'm saying? Run it back to the coach. Like getting a little swag, get a little like move and groove myself.
Surfing, baby.
So the first time I dressed out though was an unbelievable experience. And then I'd say the first time I got in a game was my sophomore year. That was absolutely like iconic to me.
You remember the first 3 steps on the field? Like, oh shit.
Oh, bro. So I was on the sidelines and it was senior day. It was senior day. It was and I'm a sophomore, so I'm like, okay, if we're up by a lot, at Alabama, most schools they'll put the walk-ons in and like like end of the game when they're winning a lot. But Alabama, it's a different level. You got to be stomping a team. You got to be up near 60 points to get in, to put anyone, not even just like the walk-ons, but like even scholarship guys who were like the threes or the twos.
Is that just because Nick Saban had this mentality of like, we are going to play until the very last second as hard as we can? And obviously you guys would play as hard as you can, but with our best players out there on the field?
Yeah, I think it's because he wanted to be able to see, he wanted the best guys on the field the whole time, and he wanted to get the most out of them for as long as possible and be able to, he was probably using it, knowing Coach Saban, to prepare even more. It's like, okay, well, let's keep these guys in here because we can get more film for our guys. They can make more mistakes. We can correct more things, fix things. But it was always a thing. It was interesting because you look at guys like Coach Dabo Swinney. He's putting in walk-ons, third string, whatever. If they're up by like 21, which is understandable and reasonable. But Coach Saban just wanted that level of dominance and wanted that level of standard of everyone doing everything right the whole game. And so it was very hard to, put in these other guys. But for me, so again, I'm thinking I'm a sophomore, senior day. I'm the last person they're probably going to get in. At the time, I didn't really know the plays very well. That was a big transition as well. Like high school, I used to have a wrist script, and it would be like, we had a lot of plays in high school. We had like about 80 plays. And I couldn't really comprehend playbooks very well. But what I would do is I would look at the plays, and I would know what I did in high school. And I would go on the computer and type up in the smallest font possible, play 1. I would say, go block the corner in front of you. I'd be like, play 2, run post route. And I had it all. So when they called the plays, because I wanted to be confident, because if you're not confident out there, you're going to play slow. You're going to not mess things up. You're going to have anxiety. So in high school, that's what I did. I had like a little had the wrist script that literally was customized for myself, and I would do it every night. And I would just, in the game, literally, 1, post route. Okay, go. I know what I'm doing. So you get to college, playbook expands to just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plays. I didn't know the plays very well at the time. I really hadn't gotten it. Now I know the concepts really well, and I know how to I've really learned the plays thanks to a coach named Major Applewhite, who was from Houston, came and been an analyst, as well as Alex Mortensen, who was another coach that, was like an analyst for the Tide. Both of them really helped me understand it, as well as some other guys. But so it's sophomore year, and senior day, I'm not thinking I'm getting in. My helmet's sitting on the sidelines. I was always like trying to hype up the sidelines, like cheering, being loud and everything like that. And it's in like the end of the third quarter. And again, I'm thinking into the third quarter, nothing again, my helmet's away from me. And then I just get this like yell, like, Hereford. And I'm like smiling, just kind of like, yeah, we're here at the game. I'm like,
you forgot you were on the sideline.
They're like, Hereford. And I'm like, my God. I look over there like, get your ass over here. I'm like, I don't even know where my helmet is. So I go get my helmet. I throw that bad boy on. I get in the huddle, and they're like, you're going in. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm going in there. I'm going in. It felt like my Rudy moment. You know what I mean? So they call. I look at one of my buddies, Jonathan Rice, at the time, wide receiver. And I'm like, Jay Rice, you're going to have to tell me. Just say run or pass. Just tell me if it's a run or pass. I don't even know where to line up. And there was always a joke that I was one of these coaches told me. So I run out. Well, I keep getting all over the place. I run out there to the field. And he's like, Jay Rice is like, run play, whatever. Because they're only going to run really at this time. My wide receiver splits, again, I didn't really comprehend a lot of things early on and should have done a better job of doing it. I'm out to like the sideline with my split, and I'm supposed to block like a safety. So like, how am I supposed to do that out here? So people joked about it. They've never seen that wide of splits. It was the most messed up splits like in college. But I can remember running out there and just being like looking around, hundreds of thousands of fans, and it's just like, wow. Yeah. And then the coolest thing was I'm looking around trying to soak it in, and it's like a dream. And you kind of like someone's knocking on a door in a dream, and then you kind of like wake out of the dream, and you see someone at the door knocking. I was hearing my name, Mac. Because I'm all in the moment. I turn around. It's my brother's best friends. They're all in the end zone. We're almost in our own end zone coming out. My brother's best friends sitting right here was like Griff Cooper, Henry Shook, who else? Clint Smith, some of his other buddies all sitting here, Peter Lowe maybe. They are all just tossed in the end zone. Yeah. They're tossed, screaming, yelling. You're like doing like beer up in the air. Yeah. I'm like, how can I hear these guys right now? Yeah. How is it that my brother's best friends, who are like older brothers to me, are right here in the end zone? And they're like, yes. I'm hearing them like, I like look back. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I get there, and I'm pretty sure I missed my first block, which was embarrassing. That shouldn't happen. And then I just kept on going in there. I was just trying to hit anyone and everyone I could see in my way. I was just like hitting people. Yeah. And I remember one of the guys being like, bro, chill. Like on the other team. I'm like, no, I can't chill right now. You don't understand.
Did you ever get a catch then in a game? Or was it just the block and the split?
Just the block. And I played in another game, and I had some blocks and a lot better blocking the next time I got in, because I learned the plays. After that, I got the plays. I went and grinded to learn the plays, learn the concepts, learn my splits, but never got an actual catch in a college game. The best, I guess, the highlight of my career per se, there was like a highlight stats-wise or playing-wise, is spring game where Mac Jones was the quarterback. I was the starter on a spring game team. So we have, Alabama has like 30,000 maybe to spring game, 40,000, I don't really know. There'll probably be a crap ton this year just because of the coaching change. But our team was playing Jalen Hurts' team. And I'm out there. I'm starting for a team in the spring game at the University of Alabama junior year. Like, it was pretty awesome. And the thing I loved about it was I prepared so much, so goddamn much that whole entire spring that it didn't. You would have thought, like, okay, a guy who's never really played, who's out there with all, like, the starters, because there was, I don't think, any other walk-on. There may have been one other walk-on starting. That was probably it. Mm-hmm. I'm out there with all these starters and stuff, and there was not one bit of nervousness.
Is that what? Why do you think that was?
I just think that I prepared my ass off. Like, I wanted this moment so bad, and there was a quote I always stuck to growing up, and I had it printed out in a picture frame, and it said, "I will prepare, and someday my chance will come." Mm-hmm. Abraham Lincoln. Loved that quote, and I stuck to that. So I prepared so much. I wanted to learn the plays. I would be going after practice. I'd be working with Mac Jones, on Saturdays. Everything that I could possibly do to have confidence on that field, I did. And that was one of the best, that was one of those moments that it was like, wow, I'm really proud of myself because there's thousands of fans. I'm out here. I'm a preferred walk-on playing with all these scholarship guys. In this game, I'm starting in a spring game for Alabama. Mac Jones at quarterback. I get the first reception of the game.
Oh, let's go.
I get the first reception of the game, and I'm like, wow, I'm not nervous. I know what I'm supposed to do. I've done this in practice. I've done this rehearsed in my head over and over and over again, and now I'm seeing it come to fruition. Like, when people say nervousness, anxiety, whatever on the field and everything like that, like performance, like it's a true thing. But for some reason, I really didn't feel any of it because I was so locked in and knew what I needed to do. And I believed I could do it because I did it so much. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the moments I was really proud of myself. And I could have done things better in that game. But, it was just fun that I truly felt confidence the whole game. And I think I may have played the most snaps out of any receiver on my team.
I was going to ask you a little bit about I guess obviously the big thing is Nick retiring. Kind of what's your take on that? And do you have any, maybe memories or something that you kind of, have in your memory bank that is that's my Nick Saban moment or my Nick Saban memory?
Yeah, so thoughts on the whole thing. I got the news. I was pretty shocked at first. I didn't expect it to come at this time. I knew that it would come. Again, I've told people, I knew it would come someday. Everyone has to know it's going to end. But when is that day going to come? I didn't expect it to be after this season because I'm like, dang, I thought he would have gone out with a national championship win. And that's what I thought we were going to do this year. All in all to say, immediate thought was joy and happiness to have been able to be in play during that time that Coach Saban coached during. He's a GOAT. He's a legend. And then I'm happy for him. I'm super happy for him and his daughter and his wife and just getting to spend time with his family as a grandkid. That's awesome. I was so joyful in the fact of he had this unbelievable career and he's finally getting a chance to go live a little bit. He's going to be in the office. He has an office still. He'll be a part of helping the team out. But just for him to get a chance to, breathe, and I know he's going to be grinding and working like crazy because that's what he's used to. But I was happy for him, and a lot of people were sad. I'm just happy. I think, we got to be appreciative. If you're an Alabama football fan, if you're a football fan in general, college football fan, you got to be thankful for what Coach Saban did at the game. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be a household name for the rest of our lives, And so it was awesome. That's my thoughts on that part of it. And then on the new coach they brought in from Washington, people ask me about that. What do you think? This was a bad hire. This was a good hire. I don't really know. I don't know, but I'm not Greg Byrne. I'm not the AD. I'm not the guy making the decision. Coach Saban helped make the decision, so that gives me confidence in it, or at least I believe he was part of the process. And Coach Saban built this foundation. It's not like he just built something and it just goes away. Everything he built, there's other guys in the building. Jeff Allen, who's the head athletic trainer, probably one of the most unbelievable people I've ever met. He's still there. There's still people. There's still things there. So I think a lot of people are worried, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the future and to see the change. And then when it comes to Coach Saban moment for me, there's a lot of different moments in my career I can go back to that were great Coach Saban moments. But I would say just overall, I know it'd probably be better to give a detailed story. There's the one story I've told a couple of times where he chewed me out in one of the playoff games. The one time I went into his office and had a meeting with him about that. I guess that was my favorite because I was explaining to somebody, you think of coach, you think of someone who you talk to every day. You're around him every day. I'm around Coach Saban every single day. He's speaking to us. He's a DB coach and also like helps out with everything. But he's with the DBs a lot during practice. I'm a wide receiver. We're going up against them. He's around us all day, every day. And you would think someone who's around you all day, every day, I could just be like, yo, what up, Andy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're comfortable, you're whatever. The difference about Coach Saban was he was on a different level, a different wavelength. I went into his office, and I can remember the first time I met with him just like one-on-one in his office. I come in that room, and I'm like, okay, whoa. Like, whoa. Like, you could feel the presence. It was like a bomb of like, you walk in
Don't let
that
me
door.
off the team. All I'm thinking, just let me be on this team still, please.
No, he opens the door. It's like the door just opens up, and you're like, there he is. You see him every day. Why is it different now? I don't know, but I walk in there and I meet with them, and we were talking about like leadership stuff, and it was just wild. I don't even remember what he said that day, but it was, unbelievable just walking in there talking.
Was he trying to make you become a leader in the locker room?
I think I was pitching for myself on, wanting to be more of a leader on the team and a part of like the leadership committee or something like that. Because I remember we had a meeting and he was like, if you think you should be on it and you're not on it, like come and talk to me. And I was like, it's kind of my opportunity to get a little meeting in here, and pitch for myself. Like
a little FaceTime. Maybe a little kiss on the cheek out there.
So I went in there and it was pretty awesome. And then I loved, this is funny. He asked about moments. This is small moments, but we're 1 year, it's hard. You've got a coach. You've got a ton of players on a team. You got coaches. You got staff, everything. And sometimes you wonder, I'm a walk on. Does Coach Saban even know my name? And it was like when we went to fall camp, I believe it was my sophomore year or junior year, we had this church day where we all go to church together as a team. And I remember walking out of the bus, and I had an Alabama Crimson Tide tie on, and we're walking in, and Coach Saban says, I like your tie, Mac. And I was like, wait, okay. He knows my name. So that was a cool moment for me just knowing. And then I talked to Scott Cochran, the strength coach at the time, and he was like, dude, he knows everyone's name. He knows all y'all's names. He cares about all of y'all. He puts in a lot more work and does a lot more than y'all ever think about. Because sometimes that's a worry when you're, when someone's like, he's got this big team. He's got all these players to worry about. Yeah. And people make jokes about it, but he did know all of our names.
It almost feels like you were just like one of his employees, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Right?
But Coach Saban, legendary coach, GOAT, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited for him to get a chance to breathe and to spend time with some family. And, I know his family's excited as well. Miss Terry's got to be excited to finally have some more time with her husband.
There's a lot of coaching changes this past week.
A ton of them, yeah. A lot of coaching changes. But all in all, yeah, it was amazing. And I'm just grateful that I got to be a part of a small bit of the era that Coach Saban.
As a Tennessee fan, we missed out on Michael Penix Jr. because he was a Knoxville commit. Yeah. I want to talk about just inside the locker room because I think from what a lot of people have seen on social media, you were able to build this camaraderie with all of the guys that we see in the NFL now. How were you able to do that? And how quick were you able to do that inside the locker? Like, were you the only white guy really that was kind of just outgoing and had a really big personality, or were you just the guy that just wanted to be around people and kind of, I don't know, you're talking about being a leader and just kind of lead these other guys that are actually on the field?
Yeah, I think one thing is I just love relationships. I love connecting with people. I think that was a lot due to my mom, the way she raised me and the way she is. We have like just different people that I consider family because my mom is just that kind of person. She wants to bring in everyone. Like she's like the mom from The Blind Side. Like my mom just like loves housing people, helping them, like whatever. So just seeing her raise me that way and being around her when I was younger and seeing her treat people, that definitely spurred me to just love relationships and love connecting with people. And then I can remember in high school, particularly football, we did things again like college and high school. So we would come in. We had a fall camp in high school, like 2-a-days. And we did something where it was like, why do you play? And we went around the room, and guys, I remember crying at mine. It could be different every year. We had one guy, Nathaniel Tyrell, in high school that told a story that was absolutely crazy. He saw there was one of his best friends growing up on the block, told him, he always like asked him about his football games every single time he came back. And Nathaniel was a star at our high school. You look up this guy's highlights, my God, you're watching like the guy scoring touchdowns every single time for like 30 minutes straight in his highlight tape. It's unbelievable. Look up Nathaniel Tyrell huddle. It'll blow your
on the huddle tape.
on the huddle tape. You'll look up. There's a video that he was on, like some top plays of the week. He broke 9 tackles and a punt return. 9 freaking tackles. This guy was him.
I'm trying to get off the block.
He played everything. Yeah. But so he was telling us this story that was crazy, like, why he played. And one of the big reasons was this kid, every single day, Nathaniel would go play football, come back, and this other guy in the neighborhood, who's one of his best friends, was asking about the games and everything. And one day he came back and he saw an ambulance and saw one of his best friends being taken out of structure. And I think he had his eye shot or something, or something with his eyeball. I forget. It was a very vivid memory. All that to say, people would get up there and say those kind of things. And so it built this gosh, I love football, for a lot of reasons, but this is really the best. This is one of the best things about the sport of football. Mm-hmm. How I'm in a room and I'm connecting with these guys, the high school level, who I wouldn't be having these conversations with most likely if it wasn't through football. So you translate that to Alabama. I get in the locker room and immediately I felt a part of the team, but it's not to say it wasn't hard, because there were some guys who talked crap about me. There's some guys who didn't like me. There were some guys who didn't like me. But I think over time they started to, because I was consistent with what I did and the way I treated people. But I always liked just talking to people. And genuineness is one of my number one things. I just genuinely want to get to know who you are, why you play the sport of football. Mm-hmm. Because the reason I like that question, why do you play? I remember asking one of my best friends for life, Quentin Williams. I asked him, why do you play? Who do you play for? And I remember we were in a car, and there's this little area near Tuscaloosa. It's in Tuscaloosa. I think we were going to a GameStop or something. And he was telling me he plays for his mom. He wants to be able to. His mom passed away when he was a younger kid, and a lot of it is because he wants to leave a legacy, be able to have money to be able to give to cancer awareness and other things, and change the world. That stuff. I know him now. And so it was that, just me really caring about wanting to know different people in the locker room. And then it would turn out there's a lot of people who really like that and want to get to know you. And, I consider myself a friendly guy, and I can talk to just about anyone. So I guess that's what happened, is I started just talking to people and people who, realize look, Mac's just a guy like me, just a chill guy. He wants to get to know me and wants to, that was my favorite part, is I really genuinely cared about each and every person in the locker room. It was family, it was my brother. And so I'd say, I guess that's what propelled that to have. You
got the entire locker room to do the Black Beatles trend, dude.
So that was crazy.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw
the mannequin challenge. So there was a social media guy. Love him. And this is horrible. I can't think of his name. Great guy at Alabama. The Black Beatles trend's going on. Alabama's all business. We don't make funny videos. We're not doing all this other stuff. But I told that guy, I said, we got to do this. He's like, let's do it. And so we organize it. And I'm like, all right, you're going to film it. And we just tell everybody, and it circulates throughout the locker room. And then bang, we had the Black Beatles video.
Fire. That was another question too. You guys, it looks like you were so loose in the locker room. Does Nick Saban know you're being that loose, or is there's a time to play and there's a time to come to work, but inside the locker room you don't want to play that much? Or what's the balance there? Did he know? Did he not know? Let him have fun. Let him breathe. Let him get loose with each other.
I think when we're on the field and when we're in the facility, it's almost 100% business. Before practice in the locker room, kind of 100% business. But I think after practice, everyone's tired. Coaches aren't really in the locker room. Coach Saban's not in our locker room. It's players. It's all the players. The training staff has their little, so there's a door that goes to the training room. But then it's all the players, all the boys. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it was just an area where people felt comfortable after practice. It was there's some things I wish, high school football, I don't know if there's anything where you have relationships like that to that level. And at college level, a lot of times people just locker room and leave. But there's a lot of people who love just the camaraderie and talking in the locker room and that. And so it wasn't like Coach Saban was ever I don't even know if he knew what we were doing in there, but people were just, it was fun to mess around, goof off, people doing the little towel thing where you tighten up the towel and whip people.
What you always do? You slap on the back of the neck?
Yeah, little necks, get them wake, make sure they're ready to play.
Liam played D3 college too, so I imagine you've got some,
Yeah, there's a lot of just locker room stuff that I love just about sports in general. A lot of people don't know what goes on in locker rooms, and it's good to know that somebody, it's kind of the same all over the place. Even at Alabama, it sounds like it's the same at a Division III college, kind of just goofing off and kind of feeling good. And those are my guys, these are my teammates, and we go out and grind every day type of thing. But now we can have some fun and whatever. I kind of want to get into what you're doing now too, because we know kind of Alabama and all that and your connections there. But what are you doing now? You got any other like projects coming up or like things you want to do, kind of visions or anything?
So what I'm doing now, I'm right now, like at this moment in
doing a podcast right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a podcast right this second. But
this podcast has been long overdue, like 2 years overdue, bro. But nonetheless, we appreciate you coming on.
It has been. But yeah, so the main priority for me exiting 2023, entering 2024, and the beginning of this year has been, I got recommended a great book by a buddy of mine, and it's called The Elimination of Hurry. Faith-based book, awesome book. I haven't read many books in my lifetime.
Same.
Probably less than 20.
I'm still on Shoe Dog, the Nike founder of 2 years ago. I think I'm on page 30, bro. But I did start to open up the Bible like last time. I'm reading
There we go.
I'm reading Job.
Talk to me, Andy. Talk to me.
Yeah. Genesis and Job got through. I'm reading like a Spark Notes Bible type of Bible right now. So all the aliens. I'm trying to get right with the Lord, dude.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to get right with Jesus, man. You get right with the Lord. You get right with other things, man. That's how it works. But all that to say, I read that book. It's a faith-based book, great book, and it really, I don't know. I've kind of been in an area where I've done some cool things, whether it be in the entrepreneurship, business side of things, with marketing, whether it's working with a company and helping build their brand, helping build their social media, or on the content side of having a partnership with Dick's Sporting Goods and, making money over there. So I'm in a good spot financially, and that's nice. And so it's given me time to say, what are my main priorities? And I always think about it. I'm like, I see people chase in life. That's all they're doing. It's just like they don't stop. And I really, the end of 2023 and reading this book and just prayer and different things, I'm thinking to myself, like, what is it that I really need? Like, what do I really want? Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I like my car. I have a house over my head. I'm comfortable. Like, I have a great life, like I'm blessed. Not saying that there's not other things that I want that I would love to have, but I've really got almost everything I need. I've got great family. I've got, great friends, great community, and relationships, and just had very unique opportunities. So I was very thankful for that. But all that to say, a lot of people in this chasing aspect, I caught myself at one point, like, I got to make this much money. I got to do this. I got to do this thing. I got to hit this achievement or whatever. And it's like, when does that? I've seen people who've made it, places that I've never been. They're making millions of dollars, making billions of dollars, and I'm sitting there, and those people aren't happy. So what they've worked so long, and they say they're going to do this, but like, okay, I don't want to be like that. I want to be happy. That's the thing I care about. If you put, like all those stories, they have all these like little stories and stuff about a fisherman going out on a boat, fishing, coming back, whatever, simple life. Not saying I'm a minimalistic or anything. Like, I have really nice stuff. Probably buy too much and eat out too much. But all that to say, I've really focused on the mental health side of things and just really like my faith and really trying to build a foundation there in order to continue to move. Like, it's not like I believed in God growing up and everything, but I'm saying really want to get in a good foundation and really, work on things with battling anxiety, battling different things so that I can have great relationships and things that matter, so that if I lose a couple of dollars here and there on an investment, if I didn't have the things that I have, I would still be happy because it comes in here. So all that to say, that's what I'm working on right now is the main thing for me, is just being physically, mentally, and spiritually just at the top of my level.
That's exactly what I said on the New Year's Eve pod. I was like, dude, because we've been chasing so much, whether you want more money at your job, whether we're trying to make a lot of money off the podcast. It's like, dude, I stressed out a lot last year, and it's like, dude, I don't want to go down that road. I told him straight up, and I was like, you know what? It starts with your mental. So I've been getting, in the gym, back in the gym after a 3-month hiatus, and it starts with your mental, roll into everything, your physical, your spiritual, your faith, and things like that. So that's what I'm also working on as well.
Let's go. Fire me up.
Dude. So, but I'm curious about, like, I guess the social media side. I mean, everyone's addicted to it, bro. We're always on our phones. I'm putting screen limits, like screen time limit on my phone. But, like, yes, you have built a following, and it does sound like it kind of came a lot from Alabama. Like, is that how you kind of built your following? Just real quick there.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it definitely, Alabama helped a lot. Now, if you think about it, did everyone who go to Alabama have a big following? No. So there's another side of it where it's like, it was a combination of, one, Alabama gave me something. It gave me this legitimacy. It gave me a platform. But I was the one who had to utilize it and realize the power of being at Alabama and kind of build it off of it. So it was a combination of a lot of, like, things that I've learned over time with marketing, media, and just being in Alabama. So, yes, like, I can't be grateful enough and indebted to, like, the University of Alabama.
Yeah, and so then you're kind of a guy here in Nashville that a lot of people know, and it's because, again, the kind of person that you are, being a genuine guy. But how do you build those next level relationships with people maybe that have already some sort of popularity, status, whatnot?
Yeah, I think that it's a good question, and it's
good right there.
hard to. Are you good on there?
Yeah, it just says low battery. All right,
Shit.
no, you're good. You're
Low
good.
battery shit.
Go ahead.
Good. More
I'm
time to
always
get
on
better.
low battery, dude. I'm drained out.
Good.
That was another thing, dude. We were talking about ins and outs real quick. Things that we hate. Why do we still have chargers for, like, everything? Like, can everything just not be charged infinitely? Infinitely? Anyways, go ahead, dude. Sorry.
Jeez, always go
Charged up. Good. More time to get better. So
Yeah, for real. Living in a state of melancholy.
Yeah, relationships. That's a good question, because I don't know. I think, people ask me that and they're like, hey, so-and-so or so-and-so. And they're like, how are you making these type of relationships? It's never really something where I'm like going out and saying, hey, I need to meet so-and-so or know so-and-so. I think it's a combination of, one, just being genuine and really caring about people. But then, two, the other part of it is you start surrounding yourself with people that are similar to you. They want to succeed or they're doing things, and they want to, have a good friend. And you just get into rooms and people start to get to know you. And then that relationship forms. It's very natural. It's not something that's forced. It's not like I go out with, like, relationships and be like, hey, I'm going to try to make this relationship. It's just like, if you want to meet someone, shoot them a message. Go meet them. If you want to meet someone and you're in an opportunity to meet them, like, that's one of the biggest things I would say is, like, it doesn't matter who someone is. Like, people, like, what, like, at the end of the day, someone could be, what you call a superstar. We're all people. We're all individuals. We're all creations, So, like, why not? What makes you just different? You got a heart. You got eyes, you hopefully, and whatever. So I would say that's the big thing is, like, just really caring about other people. And then,
But not a lot of people like that would really open up to say, even for, like, us, we'll have somebody on the podcast and it's kind of like that awkward thing. It's like, do I ask for his number? Like, did we get each other's numbers? Or did we just, like, have, like, one of our, like, McKenna to reach out to, like, their manager now? Like, we're trying to figure out, how do we exchange just contacts and be, like, friends, Like, we just had you on an interview, but, like, I don't think we're that cool yet,
Well, that's another thing that we've learned, like, through podcasting is, like, that same story is kind of, like, knowing people and getting to know them. We're all the same. Even if you are a very real famous person, or, you do shows every night in front of a lot of people or whatever. At the end of the day, when you come in and ask them a question about what motivates you, it's all kind of the same of, like, we're fortunate enough to have really good, like, people on in terms of, like, down to earth and not, like, too big headed. But at the same time, it's like those answers we get are kind of, like, all the same if you kind of group them in.
Dude, but I'm trying to go kick it with them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer that question.
Yeah,
I like that question because it's a good question. I think there's a lot of people in your same position. You meet someone, you want to kick it with them. I think that, like, one, you do a good job. I mean, we're buddies, and I think it happens to be the kind of person. So the person you're interviewing, which Liam was referring to, but a lot of times you can kind of catch a vibe. Like when someone's really vibing with you. You know what I'm saying? You're like fucking with me. You know
I
what
like
I'm
the
saying?
vibe, man.
Yeah.
We always try to catch that vibe, dude.
You know what I'm saying? So you got the vibes.
Sometimes it doesn't happen though. I mean, that's just how it goes. I'm like, fuck, dude, I didn't catch that vibe with him. I don't think, but that's okay. At least we got him on the pod,
See, it's a hard. I can't really give. It's not like there's an answer like it's not like a math equation. It's not like 1 + 1 = 2. It's not like you put in hard work and then you get stronger in the weight room. It's a thing that's hard. I think it's just a learned skill, I would say, that over time, being around so many different people, if you look at my life, like I was grew up in a really nice area, but I also played AAU. And I was the only white guy on my team.
Sounds like us in basketball. AAU growing up.
Besides one other kid on my AAU team. We played downtown Birmingham.
That other kid was him. Me and him played.
Yeah.
Only two white kids.
I fucking rode the bench, dude. I was like, when am I going to play?
There's
last
different
3
story
seconds
for me.
of the game.
I was the facilitator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was
boom.
I don't know. Yeah, no, we see with like Caleb Presley, like Theo Vaughn, like all these popular guys in Nashville. It's like, dude, that's cool because it's like I know Mac. Like, I wonder how he did that, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, how do you get in that little circle? How do you take that next level? Just again, sounds like you just tried to create relationships organically.
So yeah, I would say like again to talk about the thing that I think it's a skill to be able to talk to people and talk to anybody. Like I'm not saying I can talk to every single person. There's probably someone out there who makes me feel uncomfortable or something. But again, growing up in life, one of the biggest things was putting myself like that AAU team, doing things that weren't the norm. Like I was playing down at the Birmingham YMCA, and then it's like I played travel soccer. Sports really helped me because I'm in all these environments, playing with people that were not just in my small community growing up. And then boarding school was a huge part of it, And then it's like one of my best friend from boarding school lived in Jamaica, Queens, in New York. Went and stayed with him and his family, like saw how they live. Like I was put in these different situations, and I was never afraid to go into a room growing up. It was never like I'm too cool for these people or I'm too cool for this guy. I wanted to be in the choir. I wanted to be friends with everybody in the choir. I was the guy who, like, if there was a guy people would bully per se, I wanted to be friends with that guy. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just wanted to meet anyone and everyone because everyone is valuable. Everyone has something really cool about them if you get to know them and get to, like, understand where they came from, their story, like you were talking about, Liam. It makes you close. All that to say, I think because of that, all through time, putting myself in different situations, sports, whatever it may be, and just really going for it, trying to communicate with different people, gave me the ability to then feel comfortable to communicate with anyone. And so then it's like, I get in a room, so it's, take for example, I had an opportunity. So say you have opportunity A and you're involved in so-and-so, for example, Caleb, like I did some stuff with Barstool in college. Caleb and the guys are coming down, and this is when it was Caleb and Ferrone the first time. They're coming down to Alabama. Well, I know they're coming down. I help out with Barstool stuff, Barstool, Alabama. So why don't I lend a hand? Okay, I'm going to lend a hand. And then I remember we were in a car, and I was trying to, my car, with one of the first times I was going to meet the guys and stuff, I was with one of these guys who's a viceroy, which is like an officially signed guy who's working for Barstool, Alabama. I never officially was a helper. I don't know what all technically I can say about all that, but I worked that helped Barstool, Alabama and shit. And so I was with one of the guys who's like an official guy for Barstool, Alabama. I helped out with everything as well. My car broke down. I had to get my car. I had limited time to get I think like we were either meeting them at the facility or whatever. But I remember like the car, and there's so much traffic. It's before game day. I get out of my car, my friend's car. I go stand in the middle of the road, and Paul's traffic, and I'm like, come on. Like I was gonna get there on time. All that to say, we get there, and how can I help? How can I be of assistance to you guys, Caleb? Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like, hey, Caleb. I didn't know who Caleb was. I think that the fact that I have like an ignorance, I guess is the word, or like an unknowing of some people, is almost beneficial. There's a lot of people that say you got to know everything about the area you're in, whether it's marketing. Like, I don't know a lot of hip hop artists. I don't know a lot of like country artists besides the ones I actually know. You know what I mean? That I've actually met. Like, I don't care about the names and stuff, and I don't know all of them. So we don't know that information. I could walk into a room with Andy. You could be the president of the United States. I mean, that's a little bit, president of the United States may be a little bit different, but You could be
Saying too much soldier-in-law and shit, dude. I'm not quit for it.
you could be a billionaire, or you could be a big actor, and I may be like, this guy looks familiar, but I don't know that stuff because I don't really care. I'm not a fan. You know, I'm not really a fan of anything except God. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that though? With that said, though, like it does come with a social media following.
I think that it
Like that's how you've been able to like have more opportunities than other people, right?
I would say I would say that it has something to do with
And that's
it.
what everybody cares about, like nowadays too, dude. But which sucks because like that's what everyone looks at.
Yeah,
right?
I would say there's something with that, but I don't think that's everything. It depends on the right person. If someone's going to look at you for your social media following, is that the kind of person you want to be friends with? My God?
Yeah, probably.
You know what
not.
I'm saying? All that to say, I think it's just something over time. I would say if people are trying to get better at being able to connect with other people and build relationships, you really got to look at it as how can I be the most, like, how can I really get to know them and learn about them? And you can't have any other initiative. It's got to be that you want to get to know that person for that person and nothing else. That's how you form real relationships.
What do you think about the new Nashville with all these? It just feels like a new Nashville to us. Does it feel like it to you? With everyone, you know, because there is like people moving here from Los Angeles that are musicians, and there are people that are now very popular in Nashville, and it feels like you almost have to be connected in this circle to kind of stay relevant, especially for us being in like the I don't know what you call this podcast industry, but trying to just build social currency within our own circle. Do you feel like you have to, or you're already connected to it, but do you feel like you got to keep up with it? No.
I don't know if I feel it as, I mean, I know it's newer Nashville, but y'all have lived here, so I think it's different. But I will say it's kind of like, again, back to the thing, like, I'm never going to approach someone for numbers.
Yeah. Are we
you
just
know?
beating a dead horse here? Because he's just going to say the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's a
I
little.
appreciate it because it's like I feel like a lot of people would look at somebody like that and be like, oh, I got to have this guy follow me on Instagram. Let's put like a Jelly Roll or like somebody that's really popular in Nashville now. It's like, oh, I got to get in with Jelly Roll. I got to get in with this guy. I got to get in with this guy to get into this door to create another opportunity. But sounds like for you, you're just a cool dude that people want to be friends with. That's why we're friends. And then all that stuff will come organically afterward.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, a lot of it's like, I don't attribute, there's one Bible verse, like, it was like,
Is it Job?
no, it was not Job.
Dude, Job was,
This guy's waiting for a Job quote.
Job
verse.
I just keep reading. He's getting rocked, dude. I'm like, dude, it's all good, dude.
There's some Bible verse that talks about you're not really doing the good things you've done. I haven't done any of this alone. You know, it's like by the grace of God. Like that's why I've done anything I've done. But I wouldn't say I'm just like I just care. I really care about people. And when you really care about people, people see that. It's not like, you know, it's not something you hide. Like if you really genuinely care, and sometimes people don't see it and they don't give a crap. They want you to just get them into a door. And yeah, there is some of that I've seen. People wanting to know me, and it's hard for me to decipher because again, when I look at it as just a genuine relationship, someone comes in and they're like, I kind of get the vibe. They start texting me. They start asking me to bring them to certain stuff. They start wanting to be around me for certain stuff. But like, who can just kick it with me on a random night, you know, who wants to just chill and hang out? Like there's a guy who's came from LA. I won't say his name or anything, but came from LA and was in this, you know, kind of LA content, celebrity, whatever, with all these people all the time. Comes to Nashville, and we were talking the other night, and he was like, man, he's like, we went to dinner with a group. It was my roommate who's in freight brokerage. It's, you know, my other buddy who played in the XFL, and then it's this guy who does content stuff.
Yeah.
We're all saying, that's a weird group, you know, what the heck? Like, we got a freight brokerage guy, we got, you know, went to Alabama, a great kid, played tennis in Sewanee, my roommate Ed O'Neill, we got Jordan, like, it's this random group, and he was saying that didn't happen in LA really, that it was always about how can we get somewhere, and again, it goes back to it, it's like, dude, what's wrong with just being cool with people? And the beautiful thing about it, I talked to another guy the other day, the sleep guy, I call him the sleep guy. Sorry, Todd. But Todd Anderson, I did a little sauna, a little cold plunge session with him. And it was like, we just had a great conversation, you know, about life, about different things. And it's like, at the end of the day, I walk out of there. Now I have a great relationship with him. Is it going to bring fruition in business? Is it going to bring fruition in life with different things? I don't know. But the coolest thing is when you do get those relationships and here you are. We're doing a podcast interview with you guys, and it's like I feel like I know you guys a ton better just through this podcast. Like we're kicking it for real. But it's like after that, it's like who knows? Maybe Andy has some opportunity that he knows I can be a part of.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna need some help, dog. All right? Yeah.
You need help. Let me tell you, Andy does need some kind of help, and I don't know if that's the help I can offer. That maybe a counselor. You can go to a counselor. There's a therapist I can recommend you to.
I know. I'm trying to get involved, dude, and get out of my head. No, I think on top, like just going on top of that, like with us, just kind of interviewing some really cool people this past year. At the end of 2023, we look at it differently. You're like, it's just another person. But I'm like, dude, like, we can't mess this up. This guy is freaking huge. Like, yada, yada. And then it's like, I don't know. Like, we're not, at that point, we didn't create, like, a personal relationship. But we kind of did. Like, on the Masvidal interview, he kind of was just smoking weed. And we were chilling as boys.
Well, that's another thing. Like, with somebody, like, let's say somebody famous, like, who it could be whoever, right? I think the thing is, like, we might not be really cool with that person directly, but like for instance, the Jorge thing, I feel like we made a connection to kind of his group of people too. Like, we can't really call up Jorge Masvidal, like we don't have that connection, but the people he surrounds himself with, I think we're probably a little closer to than him directly, and I think that's kind of like a little bit of what you were saying, just like who you surround yourself with. I think him surrounding himself with those people, we found out that they were kind of really cool people just in general. Mm-hmm. And he just happens to be a tie to that. So I think that's where we just got to keep doing and creating a circle in which, or people just need to create a circle with people they really like just care about, and having that small or that inner circle, you can reach out then to bigger circles.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And I mean, Andy, to tell you one thing is like, yeah, dude, get out of your head. It's easier said than done. I'm not trying to be, I'm just being real. Like you talk about it, like, I think that's a blocker. Like I have tons of blockers. I have a shit ton of anxiety. I have like, I've battled with depression. I've gone through a lot of stuff that people don't see on the outside all the time. I get hate. I get like whatever, but at the end of the day, like you battle through those things and you realize, look, I'm looking at somebody. You bring in someone in here who's so-called big deal or whatever, that you're like, you got to get out of your head and realize that's another individual. Yeah. They fight adversity. I fight adversity. They have love. I have love. They are like a person. I'm a person. It's like you realize that you're talking to somebody. And I would say if y'all have someone on here who is like, bigger status that y'all are talking about, I would say, like, dude, the best way is like have an environment that lets them know, like, I'm not here to get anything out of you except I want to hear your story.
No, and I think we're finally there. Like after that LA trip, we came back down here and even had another big name like that weekend right after, and I was like, oh wait, we're kind of used to this. It was just very nerve wracking at first. It's kind of just getting to that world.
Yeah, I'm sure, and
holy shit, dude! Like we flew across the country, and like now we cannot fuck this up, dude. Like, should I ask for the weed or no? Like, I don't know. I don't really want the pot, but should I try to ask for it? Yeah, no, I think it's super cool, dude, and I appreciate the relationship that we have, and obviously that you and Liam have created. But I want to go back to one question about Alabama. Can you name your top 5 athletes that played at Alabama?
No.
He has too many relationships that he don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Gotta get him on that one.
Absolutely not, you sicko.
Come on, bro.
Sick, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the worst. I tell people this. They're great for clips. They're great for a lot of things. I am the worst top 5 person of all time. I can probably tell you maybe my top 5 foods. That's probably all I got. When it comes to like athletes and people are like, who's the best DB?
Too many relationships.
It's not about relationships. It's more about that I see different people. Like you look at Alabama's wide receivers. Everyone always asks me top 5 Alabama wide receivers because I play with these guys. It's hard to put them in a top 5 because every one of them has unique. If you look at like one of those like NCAA creative player, one of them's got speed all the way up here. One of them's got creativity all the way up here. Yeah. They've all got work ethic all the way to the top. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to decipher who's the best when they're at that level because I am not to the level of I don't have the football knowledge these analysts have. If I was one of them, I could do it because I could analytically say this guy is better for this reasons. I just played with the guys and I'm just sitting there and I'm still in just wow, like all of them are impressive. I like to look at things like it's just I look at it as, everyone they're all superstars for different reasons. Mm-hmm. And that makes it very hard for, me to make this top 5.
Did Dawson Knox? Where'd he go?
He went to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
How do you know him?
So when I finished up at Vanderbilt Masters, I was in a time period when I got my Masters at Vandy, was in a time period where I didn't have ball anymore, and that's all I knew for a little while. I should have had my identity in Christ more in college, but I built a lot of identity around football and being a football player. And so I kind of found myself in a lost period of time where I was just lost. I don't still know exactly what I want to do. I know I want to have a family, I want to be a father and a great husband and all of that. But besides that, I can't tell you specifically. Like a lot of people have it, some people have it mapped out. I'm not one of those people that just knows, and I think it's a struggle for everyone to know, and I think that's okay. I think we go through life trying to figure that out. But I was in a time period where I really didn't have a clue who I was, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be. I was doing things. I say one of the biggest things is to not stop doing things. Like, yeah, you need to sit and reevaluate and get right like I am mentally right now, like doing that kind of stuff. But you never need to stop and just sit. Sitting around isn't going to help you. You got to do something. So I started doing stuff, and there was a trainer, Jeremy Holt. So I started training with him at Lipscomb. I saw that he was training.
Shout out to the alma mater
and stuff. And so I went out there and just started training. I didn't know what I was training for. Did I really think I could make it in the NFL without really playing a college, many college downs? No, I didn't necessarily think that, but I wasn't going to take that out of the picture, and I didn't know what I was training for, but football is all I knew. So I got into training and then met through that group one of my buddies, Cam Ordway, who went to Ole Miss, played DB there. Great guy, and I met Cam because one through training, but there was a guy, one of my best friends from Alabama, his best friend from high school played with Cam and was like, Mac, you need to meet Cam because of our connection, and met Cam. Cam brought me to play beach volleyball. When I was at beach volleyball, I met a guy named Jordan Tommy, who's one of my best friends now. There were other guys out there that summer, Javon Patterson, Bryson Hopkins, my friend Brandon John, who I became friends with. So it was just being around that circle and then training with Jordan. And then Jordan and Dawson were good friends in college. Jordan was the QB, Dawson's the tight end. And sorry, my phone just buzzed, freaked me out. But then so through those friends, then we're going out together, and then and then Dawson comes to play beach volleyball, and then Dawson and I become buddies, and now 3 years now, and it's one of my best friends, and I have I have a lot of good friends, but I have a smaller friend group that's best friends. But it's really cool how, again, you just start talking to people, getting to know them, and you find, I like being around this person. We're very similar. You enjoy time with someone, and then, they bring in someone else who you enjoy spending time with. And so it becomes all very natural, in organic relationships. But that's how I met Dawson, was through that group, playing beach volleyball, meeting my buddy Cam, who introduced me to some of my best friends, and Cam's a good buddy of mine as well. And yeah.
Well, I was going to say, to kind of start to wrap this up.
I got a couple more.
I mean, we've been going for an hour and a half.
I don't care. I'm good with whatever time. I'm vibing. Y'all got me in a vibe spot,
dude.
So feel free
I mean, all right. I was just saying, he said 30 minutes when he came in here.
You did say 30. My bad. I forgot. You did say 30 minutes.
We're going for an hour and 20 minutes.
This is one of those things. This is one of those things. You can't overthink it. You're vibing.
Dude, I'm telling you.
The guest is vibing. Just let me keep vibing.
He's the boy. Hadn't seen him in a minute. There's a lot of things running through my mind right now. One being the king gone or no?
I don't know. I have no freaking clue.
He's gone.
I have no freaking clue.
He's gone. Rave's gone.
What do you think about the Are you a Titans fan?
I really just I'm not really it sounds bad. I'm not really a fan of any team or any I just my friends.
Just Alabama football. That's it.
King Henry not number 1 on that top 5.
I didn't play with
you didn't.
It was the year before I got there. I will say his impressive stat was that supposedly he was really good at the basketball shooting game in the complex. He supposedly had the highest numbers on there. I grinded on that basketball game. I got up there to one of the better players, but couldn't top it.
So we're not gonna pay him. Where do you think he's going? The Ravens?
I wish I had more insight.
So you're not even into it.
He's not.
No, I'm not. It's just not really my thing. I like football. I still love, football, what it's done for me, and still love the sport, just the sport, what it did and what you get out of it. But when it comes to being a fan, I'm not really necessarily a fan. I think I have buddies who play on teams. That's their job. I go, if they want me to come support them at their job, I go support them at their job, just like I have a job. And You know, it's fun to see them succeed for sure. That's who I like watching, is seeing my boys succeed. You know, whoever's playing, but not like, I guess Titans is the closest. You know, but no, I don't really have any thoughts on all that.
He might be done. I've heard you tell this story, and you can if you want, but I'm looking for another story of you and maybe another player one-on-one from Alabama that could have been funny. I am referring to the Mac Jones and you're catching balls in boots or something. I've heard it, so maybe you got, and I don't know. I don't even want to, let's just not even bring that up, but maybe you got something similar to that story. Like, dude, can I tell you one thing, bro? Like when Tennessee when Tennessee played Alabama and we almost beat you guys, I believe it was in 2016. You guys came back in the fourth quarter when we had Dobbs. I think we were up by like 3. Do you remember this game, 2016? My sophomore year? We almost beat them. King Henry came back. It may have been 2015. But, I mean, dude, I was an ATO at Tennessee, and then when I went to the house there, and then I had some boys that were in SAE, and then Phi Delta. I mean, all of them were just mansions, dude. I felt like I did not belong. And then the covers at the bar were like $40, dude. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to eat some cheese back home in Knoxville, dude. I can't afford this. But it was just a fairy world there. And I can't even really imagine. I know you hate talking about, but you just being on the football team. Like, were there any funny stories that you maybe have with one of the guys in class, or maybe you guys, you know, sneak around with any lady bros, or like, I don't know, dude. Like, you got anything else?
Let me think for a second.
And we're going to talk about the lady bros after, dude.
Oh, God.
So, do you have any funny stories, bro?
I'm trying to think. It's always hard. I used to have like I used to write them down somewhere on my computer and stuff, and being a couple of years out now, it's hard to recall everything as good as I want to.
How, like, do you still keep up with a lot of the guys?
Yeah, I still talk to a lot of my buddies. You name someone, I'll probably tell you. I'll tell you if I still talk to them.
I got anytime Tutty CD. Shoot him a text.
CeeDee Lamb didn't play at Alabama.
Where do you play?
CeeDee Lamb? Where did he play? That's now you're.
I'm thinking. I'm sorry. Amari Coop.
Amari Coop, he was there before I got there.
You also have Devontae Smith on.
Devontae Smith. I got Devontae Smith. Slim Reap.
Schmitty.
Yeah.
What a guy, man. He
I got AJ's out, so Slim Reaper, go to work.
I'm trying to think. I want to give you something good. I'm just trying to recall of like anything I can really remember that.
Why don't you pull out your phone and text Nick Saban, or let's shoot him a FaceTime?
He's like, no.
Okay, now this is where you have to realize there's boundaries. One is I don't have Coach Saban's number.
See, that's also I feel like another thing Andy would do. He would just be randomly FaceTime if you like. Say you get a connection with somebody famous, you would just randomly FaceTime and be like, "What's up?"
I'm trying to say, "What's up, dude?" You know, I'm kind of bored at the house.
You gotta get the boundaries.
Who would be someone fun? I guess there's games.
Did you have a girlfriend in college?
Yeah, I had 2 girlfriends. I had a girlfriend my tail end of my freshman year, girlfriend tail end of my freshman year and into sophomore year off and on, and then I dated another girl tail end of my junior year into senior year. Yeah.
And I know you were getting athletic on the field, but were you getting athletic elsewhere? All right, we'll skip that. Anything else from Alabama? Are you talking to any girls right now?
I gotta keep. I mean,
come on, bro.
I want to give you something juicy, man. I keep my personal life pretty on wraps.
And I've been chasing women for way too long, and I'm close to. We were just talking about this, dude. Nashville, like, no one's gonna want a little young Twuzington saying "brother in Christ" like way too many times in the day.
There's someone out there who may like that.
Yeah.
He said may like that.
Brother in Christ?
Yeah, like brother-in-law or like soldier and cadet. I just don't really want to go to the bars anymore, dude. So
I don't go to the bars much.
Yeah.
Anymore. I don't really go out much anymore.
I don't know if you can swing me something, dude.
I'll see if I know. I'll see if I can put you on. Are you using dating apps?
I'm off them now. I was for a second, and then I got chlamydia. So.
God, this dude is wild.
Seriously, bro.
I'm not. I know. I'm just saying. I don't know if I would put that out there. Just like.
I mean, it was like 3 years ago. That was like during COVID when I was up in Chicago, and I just kind of fucked up a little bit. I was trying to say my hellos pretty quickly on Tinder, and because Tinder's like the hookup app. I was like, yeah, dude, let me get involved real quick, and just got involved in the hospital rather per se, like shortly after that. So I've had chlamydia twice, man. That shit sucks. You've stayed clean, pretty much.
Well, that was a lot for me to
Yeah,
hear right now.
let's move on.
Sorry about that, man. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's just-
But
no, I'm kidding, bro. I'm just being weird right now. But
I like it. I'm here for it.
yeah, no, I don't think my girl's in Nashville. I got to go up to Jamaica, Queens, like. I love New York, bro.
I don't know, man. There's a girl out there for you.
I don't even really think I want one, to be honest. Like, that's what my point was going to be. Like, I was, like, chasing women, and, like, as guys, like, getting breaked up every now and then, obviously. But, like, dude, I don't think it's the move, dude. I got to start, like, working on myself and stuff and get right with the good Lord and see, like, what do you think about, like, all the aliens and stuff? Like, do you think it's starting to happen? Like, revelations and shit?
Man, I love going down the conspiracy rabbit hole. I
read it last night, Revelations. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, damn, dude. Then they had the party afterwards. I'm trying to get invited to that party upstairs, dude.
Imagine that's probably 10 times better than that white party that Michael Rubin has.
Yeah. You trying to go to that? Like, you would go to that, right? Like, what's like the most like famous girl that you've like talked to, like said what's up to, or like the most famous chick besides Hannah Cook that you have on your phone?
Oh my god.
Come on, bro.
Dude, I don't know. See, this is the thing. Like I said, I'm different in the way of I want to give you some juice. I want to give you something juicy, but
so you're just a single dude.
I'm a single guy. I may or may not be talking to someone.
She gonna be watching this, dude.
There's maybe a girl out there.
Are you looking for a girlfriend, or are you kind of just still trying to do your own thing right now? Or if it comes, it comes.
It's a combination of a couple of things. I think just like there's, I always wanted, I was like, dang, like in college or when I was before college, I always thought I'd be married pretty quickly after college, have a family.
Really?
Yeah, I really thought I would have like a family, and that would be like my main thing, like right after college. I didn't expect myself to be where I'm at right now. And I think at one point, whether it's last year, whether it's the tail end of 2023, whatever it is, kind of feel like a little bit like, gosh, I really need to get a move on. But at the end of the day, I think that like it's, when I'm acting like a boy, like I'm not gonna find a woman. I gotta act.
That's
like
me.
man.
I'm still acting like the boy, wouldn't you say?
I would say you have grown a lot, but yeah, I think it's.
This is the first year where I actually feel like I just went through a lot last year, and like I'm starting, and I live by myself for more than a year now. I've definitely matured a lot, dude. I didn't even know myself in college. I keep saying this to you. This is the first year. I'm a late bloomer. Now I think I'm finally starting to mature and like realize this is a game called. This is not even a game, but it's called life, and you better figure it out. Dude. Stop doing. Stop doing the bullshit. If I evaluate myself, I was talking about the Madre this last night. If I evaluate myself right now, and this were my last day, ain't going anywhere good after this, soldier.
It's like that movie. What is it called? This Is the End.
Yes, bro. Did you watch that too?
The beams. They're getting taken up by the beams, and the guy's like, he's trying to go. He's holding on to the other guy. He's like going up, and he's like, man, let's go. And then he gets beamed, and there's that like little dinosaur.
Do you think the aliens are real? Like what's going on right now?
Well, let me finish up on the girl thing.
Yeah, please.
There was a girl I talked to, and in all of the years since the relationship I have, there was a girl I talked to. I'll put that out there. There's a girl who I like definitely saw myself dating, didn't do all the right things, definitely didn't act the right way. And who knows, maybe we'll get other chances, maybe things will come back around. But I
calling out an ex-girlfriend or something?
You just say he's just talking to.
No. I'm just saying that like I've talked to different people, but there was a girl I really did talk to, but on relationships, I'm just very private. I'm very personal, like in the sense of I like to keep that stuff under wraps. I don't think I would love to come in here and give you some juice, but that's like that part of my life. I'm very like, it's not anyone's business until it's, until it's official or whatever. And all that to say, I think that, I'm not in any rush. I think I got in a rush at some point thinking like I need to find the one, because I really do want to be like, it sounds weird. Like I want to be a dad. I want to be, I want to have kids. I want to coach their sports teams. I want to be like that OG dad, the fun doctor dad, Like people always say I look like a dad, and I'm like, maybe I dress for the job.
Like dad, bro.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a dad guy, but I love just like my nephew is amazing. Being around him, it makes me definitely every time I'm around him realize like I want to get there sooner than later. But again, no rush to find the one. I always told myself. Dawson actually told me a great thing. We were talking about it at one point, and he told me a great prayer to pray is like, you know, especially with anything in life, but especially when it comes to a girl or girl you're trying to date or someone you know you see a future with, is like, if it doesn't work out, like at the end of the day, a good prayer for anything again is, God, like, I know your plan, or like, let me think about this. I don't botch it. Sorry, Dawson, if you ever see this. Lord, it's like, I know you're, crap.
He's botching it, bro.
I'm botching it hard. It's like,
Is it a verse?
okay, it's it's not a verse. It's just like a prayer. It's like a praying thing to repetition to like get in your head. It's like, you know, God, I know that your plan is perfect for me, you know, and I trust your plan.
Yeah.
It's like, I trust your plan is perfect for me, you know, God. And so like, that's a good prayer I would say for you if you're thinking about the women stuff and it's getting annoying or
I was
frustrating.
just talking to a chick up in New York, and dude, she just ghosted me like a couple of days ago, and she was like honestly, TMI, like just feeling me out. Like, you know, I never met her, but she was like, dude, come up here, and I just got ghosted like 2 days ago.
That
She had
sucks.
some like work done on her, and I kind of like was going on this journey with her, dude, and I was trying to get involved, and yeah, ghosted.
That sucks. Getting that's a bad feeling.
Like, why do you think that is, bro?
I don't know. You know, my grandfather used to say a joke that I always thought was hysterical.
The ghost is real, dude. Like, the women have the power, bro. I don't.
I don't know about that. I think if you tell yourself you have I think both sides have power. I think like if someone ghosts you, you could say to yourself, I'm choosing to let them ghost me.
Yeah, my middle name ain't Casper though, brother.
You know what I'm saying? But this is a good, back to one of the funniest things is, look, you're never going to know fully what's in. And look, a woman is never going to fully satisfy you. That was one thing that one of my mentors always said. He was like, Mac, like, he had his wife, and he's like, my wife is beautiful. She is incredible. I love her. They were high school sweethearts. And he said the thing at the end of the day is you got to have a relationship with the Lord before you have a relationship with another person. Because if you trust that another person is going to always be doing the right thing, people fail people all the time. Even good people fail. So someone's going to fail you. So you got to have a good relationship with the Lord before you have a relationship with, you know, a woman. But all that to say, my grandfather, about the thing of why did it happen, I don't know. And this is a funny thing, is he always used to say this joke, and he was a funny guy. He always like, I was never funny. I kind of got a little bit of wit after my grandfather passed away, because I realized how special it is to like laugh, and you know, I like comedy now. But he would always tell me, he's like, God asked a man, he said he would grant him a wish. And the guy said, you know, I want to have, what did he say? He's like, he said, I want a bridge to Hawaii. I want a road to Hawaii. I'm botching this joke, but let me start it over again, and I'll keep botching it.
No,
but
go for it, dude.
It's not that bad.
Take your time,
So
dude.
God grants this man a wish, and the man says, I want a road to Hawaii. And God says, I'm sorry, that's the one thing I can't do. And the man goes, you know what, God? I want to know what a woman thinks. And God says, do you want a 2-lane or a 4-lane?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
good.
All that to say, we'll never know what they think. And I can't tell you. There's probably these relationship coaches out there, people that can tell you reasons you got ghosted. But at the end of the day, I really do trust that, like, the right one, I'm a big believer in that. The right one, you're going to find the right one at the right time. And you're going to be so happy when you meet that person.
And that's just what creates fuckboys, dude. Like, I've been ghosted so many times, bro, in my life.
Whoa. But that's where you can't go. So
I'm not a fuckboy.
Exactly.
I used to be a lot more than, I guess, what people may perceive me as now. But, like, now I'm just like, damn.
This
bro.
is the thing I tell him all the time. Like, I think he like goes on dating apps and goes out on these
I
dates.
haven't been on dating apps in probably
But like you
6
you
months.
go and try to meet people and stuff like that or whatever. And I think he doesn't like. I'm a big person in thinking of like you date somebody to like you're gonna end up. You need to have that mindset of dating somebody to like marry them, right? You don't just. I know it's okay to go out on dates with people every once in a while, but truly dating somebody, you want to date them to like get married.
Yeah,
and I feel like sometimes with this guy especially is like people date just to date, and he's not gonna go marry that girl in fucking New York. He was never gonna do that. I don't think.
But I
that
don't
was
think-
just something.
I'd like to get
I
athletic and
don't
try it
think
out.
there's something.
I mean, you could get
I
athletic,
don't
but
think
like
there's
at the same
something
time, it's like-
bad about going on dates. I think that there's a lot of that pressure, and I even found myself in that pressure a lot of times. Like one relationship I was in, I was like being hypercritical and over judgmental, and it's like, why am I doing this? Because once I haven't had a girlfriend in so long, so that is what my mind is thinking, that I might be marrying this girl. I think people need to take that pressure away. If you like someone, you want to get to know them better, take them on a couple of dates, feel it out. You know, what do you like this relationship? Do you not like this relationship? At the end of the day, it's like, look, it doesn't work out, then you split your ways. It sucks. Heartbreak, relationships ending blow. It's one of the worst things ever. But like at the end of the day, you got to know someone, you got to learn, you gain wisdom to be able to find that person that's perfect for
I don't
you.
think I'm good for a relationship either, to just be completely honest with you. Just from like my upbringing was pretty fucking, I don't even know where my dad's at. He left when I was like in 8th grade, and my mom and my dad were divorced way before then. So I think, I don't know, I've heard it kind of, it's kind of what you see from your upbringing. But yeah, I'd probably be a bad boyfriend, right? I gotta wait, dude, wait. Like, don't just figure it out. All right, let's get out of that. Last thing here, I want to talk about the aliens in Miami Mall. The coordinates at the Miami Mall backwards were at a base in Antarctica. There's a lot of conspiracy theories on it. And then you just saw the 10-foot tall aliens in Brazil like 2 days ago on TMZ, bro. It's like Brazil's like kind of been a hot spot, like a magnet in the world for like these type of things, like, UAPs and UFOs that like appear. Have you heard like about the Brazil stuff in the past, like 1996? Like, yeah, anyways, just look it up.
I haven't heard about any of the Brazil stuff. I like to tell people a lot of my work is marketing media stuff, and honestly don't consume. I'm grateful that I don't consume as much media as most people do. Like I like to separate myself from my phone, whether it's when I'm being with people, like being in the present, stuff like that. I try not to consume too much media. But who knows, man? Aliens could be real.
I think they are, bro.
It could be. There's all these conspiracy theories that make a lot of sense, and what's getting scary is a lot of these conspiracy theories we've heard in the past are starting to come true, man.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, man? What you gonna do when they come for you?
I know. Dude, seriously. Mark Zuckerberg building the $200 million bunker. But that's the thing, too. And again, I was talking to my Madre about this for like an hour last night, and she was just like, I mean, it probably is, like, something is after this, for sure. We're not just here for no reason. Like, get your morals up, get right with that good little baby lord upstairs. But, like, the people that are building the bunkers and trying to avoid all of this, whatever happens, what could happen, you're not gonna go to a good place anyways. Everyone's got an expiration date. Everyone's got a timeline, dude. So like, trying to, you get my drift. Like just trying to avoid whatever might happen is like, I probably should just not do that and just hang out and stay chill and just be prepared if it does. I'm going down a deep rabbit religious hole right now, but that's what I think at least. Did that make sense?
I feel like this. Andy's just trying to get a lot of stuff off his chest right now. Like,
did that make sense?
That made absolutely no sense to me.
Shit,
but
my bad.
I know what you were trying to say.
My bad, bro. I gotta start reading more books and like start to like structure my sentences better, bro.
You're bad, man. Good. More time to get better.
Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to try to get out there?
There's something exciting I'm working on. One of my buddies and I, Adrian Nunez, who lived in LA for a little bit, originally from New York, played basketball at Michigan. Great dude. We're actually working on something pretty cool. We're going to start up a podcast in 2024.
Get in the game, baby. Let's go.
We're getting in the podcast game, so that's going to be exciting. I think we haven't figured out the name yet. We're working on that. But we're getting some of the pieces together. We're getting some of the foundation together. The guys are awesome. I think we're going to have some interesting and insightful conversations with, anyone from athletes to artists to God knows who. It doesn't matter. We're going to have some great conversations and rip. Whole reason for me getting into the podcast space was I love, again, like getting to connect and know people. And when you talk to them, it's like, okay, these conversations are meaningful. We just talked about relationships. We talked about things that people want to know answers to. It's not like we have all the right answers, but we're talking about it. People know there's a struggle out there when it comes to it, whether you've struggled with your, being in the hospital for certain reasons. I won't say those things, but you've had some struggles, and people want to hear that. I've struggled with relationships. I struggle with girl stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's nice to have those conversations. And if you're going to have them, why not get them, why not capture the moment? Why not have it so that other people can see it, can grow from it, learn from it, and feel more connected to the people that are talking. So excited about getting in the podcast game. I've loved hopping on any and all podcasts.
Bro, you've been like doing like a little mini podcast tour. I've been seeing you everywhere on social media. What's going on, dude?
I wanted to get into podcasting, and I thought to myself, it's a big investment. If I do it, I want to do it right. I want to have the nice cameras. I want to have the nice mics and stuff, and that requires me to put a lot of my financials into it. And I wanted to see how much do I really enjoy it. I want to dip my toes in the water. I didn't want to just jump in and then end up, maybe it's a little bit of fear of failure, but I wanted to be able to see, can I do this? Can I hold conversation with different individuals? One, can I talk well in front of camera? Two, can I like is it what I enjoy? Do I enjoy? Look, we've sat here for a long time. I've felt like this has been a very short amount of time because it shows I enjoy talking to you guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the reason for the mini podcast tour was there was some podcasts that had hit me up previously, but I was always like trying to do as whether it be a little kid who's got 10 viewers on his podcast or something, always wanted to do it as a nice thing. It's like, why don't I give this kid some of my time? It's like, I know he'll appreciate it. And so I've always liked just jumping on podcasts, but recently that's been the reason that I've hopped on a bunch of them and got something really cool going. Another thing I'm working with is a guy is Jack Vale. So he's a comedian. He's got this thing called The Pooter that he used to do. And Jack's the great guy, YouTube pioneer, comedian. He's an actor. He's a producer. He's everything you can think of. Yeah. But he's gotten a little bit in the podcast game previously and wanted to jump back into it. And so we have a great relationship and it's fun getting to know him. And I'm co-hosting his podcast, the Jack Vale Show. And we've had some great guests and gotten to learn about people. And again, it's like I'm getting to know him better, but I'm also getting to know the guests better. Every single time we have a podcast and feel connected to those people. So that's why I went on the big run, is just to see, can I do this also to get reps? Anything you want to be able to be great at, you got to be able to put in countless hours. And, this is a fun way to do it, is getting reps, talking to people. It's fun. It's a good time.
Thanks for lending us the lights. I don't know if you want these things back. My cat peed on the shields. And I told you this, bro. I said, you want the real answer or the fake one? You were like, dude, I'll forgive you. So, I mean, you've lended equipment to us for the past couple of years, and we do appreciate it. And then last thing, I guess, let me know if like you ever go back to Hawaii and like trying to hop on a golf course at like 7 a.m. on a Saturday again, dude. Like, I'll look it up for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'll give him a call for you and say, my guy's got to get on the golf course, bro.
Oh my god,
it
works, man. It works.
Yeah, let me know. I got a little sprinkle of skills here and there. So, Mac Hereford, man, appreciate you coming on, bro. This was fun, and I don't know when this is dropping, but good luck with everything. Obviously, congrats on all the success, dude. Appreciate the relationship that we've built and hopping on the Man to Man podcast.
Yeah, it's been due, buddy. It has been due. Liam, it's great to meet you. Yeah. It's a good little mix y'all got going on here. You got Andy, goes a little bit off the rails, but you gotta love it, man. You need someone who's got a little energy. I love Andy. I'll say this before we close. I love your energy. You're gonna be successful at doing this. You will as well, Liam. And that's why, again, like you needed lights. Like I had some lights to lend out. I wanted to let y'all use them and borrow them because I love seeing when people go and pursue their dreams, and that's something you've been doing. I've been seeing you pop off on these videos. You just got to keep grinding. But I respect it and I see it. It doesn't go unnoticed. Like I'm seeing this stuff. I'm seeing this guy in a bow tie with glasses on playing roulette on a casino, making some money.
Dude, that's funny. Happy, that's my actual job too. Like I get a salary for that.
That's what I'm saying. It's awesome. You're crushing it. And I think that don't. I've
lost a ton of followers just because like before I started working at Playmaker, I was like, should I make another Instagram account or just go crazy because I was going to be the betting content guy? And I've lost a ton of followers. I don't think people like really appreciate it, but like I don't really care anymore, dude. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, you're doing great. You gained some in the same amount of time. You're doing cool stuff. You're getting to live out like a dream of yours, and with the podcast, with your new job and stuff like that. And I'd say like not only to you and Liam and just repeat to myself, but like. Don't ever get caught up in comparing and like thinking like, I'm not getting as far. Like we're crushing it. All of us are crushing our each and own individual way. And like people see it. People see the hard work. I see you making the videos. I see you doing the things. I'm excited. Like you have a good gift at bringing energy. Like you do.
Thank you, bro.
And it's fun to be a part of it. Come on this podcast, rip it with you guys, chop it up. And I'm grateful y'all had me on. So I appreciate it.
We'll see you again soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say now we can afford lights, so we'll buy you some new lights.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, we will buy you a new set of lights. You don't have to take the piss shields. We'll just keep those, but you can have your bin back.
Thank you.
All right,
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you guys.